Okay, so we're back and I've moved a lot of vertices around to kind of fit my head. And you can see that because I did this in my orthographic front view that some of the shapes of the skull aren't exactly right, but we can fix that. I had symmetry turned on and I just double click that selection tool to get into my tool setting, or you can double click on the recent tool or anything here. And for the moment I'm just going to turn symmetry off, because if I and I can close this window, so I go back to my front view, you can see here where I had my head is not, my skull doesn't match the center of my nose exactly, so I'm going to go back and adjust these things with symmetry turned off. Whoops. And you can see when we get into these kind of areas where we're pressing in to kind of other facial features, so for the moment I'll turn that off. There's something we can do, and it's our soft select mode, and I can turn this on to get into that, and we get this nice grid. But the kind of hotkey for that is our B key. So I'm going to close this window down, go back into my X-ray mode, hit my B key to turn off soft select for the moment, and I can come over here, hit B for my soft select, and I can hold the B key down to turn up or down the radius of that selection mode or selection radius, and my move tool will move not just the two vertices selected, but it'll help move other things as well. So it kind of keeps us a little bit sane when we're trying to model. And the importance of taking this off of symmetry is mainly, I'm going to need another kind of loop around here anyway to model that, and we'll come back to that to get into this edge here. But why we want to take it off symmetry is that we want to be as close to modeling our own, what our face looks like, as possible. And that means being honest about the shape of our head. So kind of showing off your skill level will come through in the quality of your self-portrait and how true you are to your image plane. Now you don't have to do it yourself. You could do a friend or family member, but we just want to make sure that we're honest with ourselves when we're modeling, which will help in production when you're modeling according to drawings and character designs. So I'm just going to go back for the moment and turn this symmetry back on. And you'll notice that because I had a vertex selected, it doesn't always select the other side. There's a little bit of a bug. You might have to deselect by clicking in your viewport, select again to get that symmetry turned on. I'm going to close this down. W for move, and I'm just going to move this out to get a better shape of my head, and I can come back and just reshape my head. Now I don't want to, I'm kind of just doing this without looking at my image, or a little bit of a freestyle, and I don't want to necessarily do that a lot. Oops. So I will go back and forth between the image as I should, just to see how things are matching up. You can see because I knocked symmetry off that it's not always going to, when I do a symmetry select both sides. So that could be a bit of an issue as we go to kind of model a bit more. I'm not too concerned about that just yet, because when there's really easy fixes when we go into using our sculpting tools in Maya and Mudbox to smooth out surfaces and get a better sense of puffing out the shape of our face anyway. But right now all I'm interested in is getting a shape that looks something like my head. We're still in polygons, and we have a great base to model not just a self-portrait but any kind of humanoid head in just really a few short steps. When we come back for our next video, we'll start adding detail in the neck, mouth and nose and eye areas, just our facial features, and that's going to require some special thinking, puzzle piecing, and modeling skills.